Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we are going to talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So I still want to start with the Bitcoin dominance this time. So we have said about the Bitcoin dominance, and I think I have forgot to tell about that in the Bitcoin update. So we have said 60% to 60.22% is going to get our target. Yeah, we also have the chance to get a little bit more higher with the Bitcoin dominance, but from there we should sell off. Can take this one out of the chart. So what we see right now is we got here some kind of an head and shoulders formatation, and we broke it to the downside, which is positive. So let me also delete this one out of the chart. And now bearish pennant, and yes, still we broke it here short termed to the upside, not a big deal. I ignore this one here, and it looks like to me that this bearish pennant broke to the downside, got its retest. Since we have here huge fair value gaps, it might be possible that the Bitcoin dominance is going up, but fair value gaps within the Bitcoin dominance are not that significant. So basically it's not a price. It's just a candle which moved too fast, so we can expect that the Bitcoin dominance is also going to get a correction. That would mean that Bitcoin is going to outperform the altcoins in the short term. If we break sustainable to the downside, and sustainable would mean, for that we have to zoom in a bit, if we get a follow through. So we got here the breakout, the retest, and if we get a candle close lower than the lows here, then I actually doubt that we are going to get into those fair value gaps, and then we are straight to the downside, and then we can see some price movement down to 57% for the Bitcoin dominance. That would actually push the altcoins by far. Maybe you can look how much your favorite altcoin made and compare it to Bitcoin with just this down movement here. So here it was 1.3%. Your altcoin probably outperformed Bitcoin the double maybe. And now imagine another 4 to 5% for the Bitcoin dominance dropping. That would be insane for the altcoins. If we now look over the USDT dominance, we have talked about that in the Bitcoin update here as well. We have a small bullish chart pattern, but this is not a chart pattern which I actually like. I still want to wait for the 4.37%. We can also make it a bit more higher, so we have a bit more space, 4.38%. If the USDT dominance breaks the 4.38% to the upside, then we have to get careful, because then it might be possible that the low is not in for the altcoins yet. So basically, we have to look into it. USDT dominance broke to the downside, is on its way down, and that would push the altcoins by far with a decreasing Bitcoin dominance. So let's jump into SUI. So for SUI we have said, here is a green trend line. If we break it to the upside, then we can try our first long trade. Here was one chance, and here was another chance. With this push here, should be stopped out. Whenever I see some setup like this, for example, here was the breakout, here was the retest. I jumped into the trade here. Stop loss down below here, didn't got hit. When I saw this push here, stop loss to break even. So basically I got stopped out at break even, and I'm not in a SUI long trade, not anymore. And I missed this whole up movement, but I'm long for several other coins. At least they have at the moment a better setup. So to be long, in my opinion, that's why I will take this green trend line out of the chart, I have to wait for the $3.60. By breaking the $3.60, we would also break a falling wedge to the upside. Yeah, it messed up a bit, but to the upside, and the target is then going to be $4.03 for SUI. Then I would also say that might be possible that if we are on our way up in a corrective way, like for example within a rising wedge, then the chance is still there that we have an ongoing target at $3.35 to $3.30. If we don't get there, if we first go up, then we can sell off later into that area. So I have several scenarios, 3 different ones. I have said it in the Bitcoin update. I will do it quick for SUI as well. For the other coins, it's going to be the same. So the first scenario is we sell off into our targets and from here push. The other one is we push now to the upside and are on a corrective way up, then we sell off into that purple box. Or we get impulsively up, form a higher low and push more. So I have showed you a few days ago or even a week ago that this purple area, I think there the market is going to turn and then we can get some nice gains. We didn't went into that purple box, but we were very, very close to it. That's why I think the low might be in. Maybe this is just going to be a higher low and from here we break to the upside. I think this is far more realistic at the moment than getting into the purple box. So if we now jump into Avalanche, Avalanche is long for me right now. I have drew here something because the $23.35, they were a bit far away yesterday. I have showed you that if we form some kind of a double bottom pattern or a bullish pattern, which we then break to the upside, then we can get into a long position a bit earlier. It happened for a few coins, if you have tracked it, but not for Avalanche. So Avalanche was not tradable in this market stage right here. Oh, what happened? So I can't do much right now. Anyway, $23.35, they broke to the upside. We can get our retest, like maybe it was already the retest and we are just going to get down a little bit more before we push. And over $24.18, I'm going to increase my position size for the next push. Oh wait, let me reload it real quick. It's lagging. So let's see. Okay, now it's working again. So we were at Avalanche. So if we then break the $24.18 to the upside, we have a fair value gap up to $24.64. If we break the $24, then I actually think that we are going to get into the fair value gap pretty quick, get a retest, and continuing higher prices. Then I think the job is done. Our target was $22 to $21.30. We missed that target by 25 cents. So basically this can already be the low. And since we already broke the first green trend line, the sign is there that the market wants to get up. If we now look over HBAR, HBAR is currently my favorite coin because I went into a long position down here. This was the only coin where I have said if the 23 cents, 23.1 cents, if they break to the downside, then we should see a huge sell-off. We were exactly there and we had a bullish divergence. So basically we were here at the same level. Here was a higher low, and if we look into the past, then we can see we always formed higher lows in the RSI. For example, here was a low. Here was a higher low to this one. This also broke then to the downside, but here we got another higher low. Here another higher low. So this is a triple bullish divergence. The chart didn't give us the same lows. So what the chart did is we got higher lows in the RSI, we got lower lows in the chart like this, and what we also saw was some kind of a rounding bottom. That's why I took my long position right here, and I doubled up my position right here. So HBAR is currently my top performer, and with HBAR I have I'm very flexible right now because I don't have to wait now for retests. I'm already in profits for HBAR, so if I see a candle close over 24.6 cents like this, then I can already jump into another trade, means I will double up my HBAR position again. So I have 4 times the position size of my initial capital in the beginning. So if I put in $100, for example, without leverage, let's just say it's without leverage, so $100. Here it's now $200, and up here it's going to be $400. So 4 times more than my initial capital with which I started. And if I see more breakouts to the upside, then I can increase more and more, and I'm always safe because my stop loss, here is my break-even price, my stop loss is down here. So we really have to invalidate my scenarios and sell off like this to get me out without any kind of profits. I think this is unrealistic at the moment. I can still imagine that we can get a bit more down because we have here a small fair value gap, but we should break to the upside. And then good profits are possible. And the only coin with which I have 2 trades is currently HBAR and Solana, but HBAR did a better price movement to the upside, so HBAR is my top performer right now. If we look then, if we break the 24.6 cents to the upside, then I have a target on the chart. I just have to adjust it a bit. It is 27.6 cents. And on the way up, we might find a trend line, like for example this resistance here. But we have to see if we are getting rejected there first. Then we can even double up before we break the 27.6 cents to the upside. Maybe we form some bearish chart patterns where we invalidate all that bullish scenario, and then we have to take profits a bit earlier. But for now, I don't see that. If we now look over Dogecoin. So, Dogecoin also got me stopped out in losses. I had my stop loss right here. And I went into a long position right here. So basically, when the markets opened, the US market opened, I got stopped out like very, very close. And yeah, this was not nice. But I got a second opportunity. So here Dogecoin made its second attempt for a breakout with a retest. Then I jumped into a trade. So far I didn't have the chance to double up my position. So I have to wait for the 21.88 cents. So if we get here, I can double up my position for this move. I will take this one here out because half of that we already got. We went into that purple box. Now we need to see the drop into the 21.88 cents and afterwards the follow through. Then this was right, not this one, but this one. So I still expect, I have here the circle, I have to adjust it a bit and put it more to the right side, but I don't want to have it so big. So we will take here those highs like this, and we will draw here our circle. I think that first of all we get into 21.88 cents, then we push into that circle, which is here this resistance plus the upper part of that falling wedge. So in bright blue, you can see a falling wedge. If the 23 cents breaks to the upside, or is it even 23 cents right now? Yes, so around about 23 cents. Then the target, now I have to measure it. I'm going to take the mid-range target in this case because I don't like that falling wedge. If I don't like falling wedges, if they don't look perfect to me, then I take mid-range targets and not the maximum targets. Oh, and that would get us perfectly into the next resistance, 25.9 cents. Perfect. So, everything looks good right now. Yes, we got some good gains so far to the long side. So, small pullbacks are normal. Just because we are going to get like 2 or 3 red candles, which can go down here into our green trend lines, not a big deal. We want to see that retest because if we see a retest and if we jump into a long trade, then the risk to reward ratio is the highest if we touch those green trend lines again. If we would have taken, for example, the candle close as an entry, this one right here, then we would have missed already 1.3% in profits. The thing now is that retests of old resistance, so this was resistance before the green trend line, now we broke it to the upside, now it's going to be support. Very high chance that we are going to see that price level again. And also we have here fair value gap, so the price should get, with a high chance, back. And then we are minus 1.3% already. And we didn't even invalidate the bullish scenario. And then we can still sell off. And this would still even not invalidate our bullish pattern. It would just be similar to this one. We have here a breakout. Imagine now we have here the retest and afterwards a red candle. This one right here. And still, here is the follow through. Can happen. So basically, if I took the trade right here and I would say, okay, when would the bullish scenario get invalidated? It would be down here at round about 3.7% in losses without leverage. Let's assume we have the 23 cents as target. 3.6% in profits. If I just wait a bit longer, and there is a chance for sure we get down here, then I can take my long position. The chance is also that we are not going to get there and I'm missing the whole movement to the upside. But then I would make 5%, so 1.5% more in profits. And my loss is going to be 1% less than getting into the candle close. So the risk to reward ratio is the best if we get the retests. And retests happen quite often. I would say like 6 to 7 out of 10 times. So with that said, we see each other in the Render, Tau, Kaspa and ONDO update.